Hello, I'm Nathan, and welcome back to WMF Reacts. It's a Thursday, hopefully, so it's country time yet again. If you've not been here before, then welcome. You'll get used to the format of this. I do a few different days of different types of music. I'm usually a rock fan, so I'm branching out and trying to understand different types of music, and Thursday is country. So this one is again recommended by one of my most frequent commenters, if not the most frequent, T Smith 2736. So she suggested a Carrie Underwood song. So I did Carrie Underwood last week, and this one is leaning more into the gospel. From what she was saying, from what they were saying, some country ends with kind of gospel tracks at the end. So the suggestion was, let's have a look. Yeah, this one with Vince Gill backing harmonies and guitar. Did How Great They Are Thou Art stole the show the ACM Awards a while back. So I was going to react to that one, but I found another version that she sang that has slightly better sound quality. So I'm going for that one instead. This is actually from Carrie Underwood's web. This is actually from Carrie Underwood's YouTube channel. So don't know where I'll get with copyright strikes on, but we shall see where we get to. As always, thank you very much for joining me. Please comment, like, subscribe, offer suggestions, and if you want to support me a little bit more, I do have a Patreon as well, where I try and release videos a little bit early, and I have deep dives into some of my reactions and the artists and the genres and all that sort of thing as well. So I'm trying to flesh out the Patreon and add lots of extra stuff as well. So please just join me and have a chat and see where we get from there. So I'm not a religious person, but I am aware of a lot of hymns. So growing up in South Wales, there is obviously a lot of Christianity and that sort of thing. A lot of singing. You know, the Welsh are well known for their singing, especially things like rugby games. There are a lot of hymns. There's obviously the Welsh national anthem, which is amazing to hear live with everybody singing. But also personally, I grew up in a school where we sang hymns every morning assembly, so I'm quite used to that. And later in life, I had a friend a few years ago, very, very close friend, who was actually diagnosed with cancer. And she was from Poland and she grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. So as the illness was getting worse, she kind of found her religion again. And to try and support her, I actually reached out to local Jehovah's Witnesses, just on the street as you see them giving away Watchtower, and spoke to them about it and went along to some of their meetings and actually did some Bible lessons and actually deep dive into the Bible and did all that kind of thing as well. So I did a lot of that. I haven't gone for a long time, but part of the meetings is obviously singing hymns and that sort of thing. So I do have a fairly good background of hymns. I don't remember all of them. I've been to many funerals and that sort of thing, and there's always hymns. So there are ones that I know and ones I don't know. I think ones that are popular in this country aren't necessarily popular in America and vice versa. So there's always that kind of difference. But let's have a listen anyway.
Oh Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made.
And straight off, music is nice, but her tone is just absolutely lovely. The way she sings, it's like vibrato to the longer notes and the sustain. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful in it. It's why so many people like hymns. They're so old and traditional. Obviously, she's a slightly updated version, I guess, because they always change things to suit your own voice, don't you, when you get to this kind of level. But it's just nice and clean sounding, which is what you expect from him. You either have a choir singing it, or you have one person with just an amazing voice just ringing out like a bell, and that's exactly what she's doing. As I said to the last reaction to the Ozzy Osbourne song she did, that she has a really, really nice voice, really nice tone to it. It's not too high pitched, it's not too low, but she can kind of go in between the two. I said that sustain she has as well, with just a little bit of vibrato in there, and the note just kind of lingers. It's really nice. I'm enjoying that. Let's go back again. Just the piano, it's just really nice.
Oh Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed.
She has a beautiful voice, doesn't she? There's a couple of little bits that kind of make me think, yeah, country. Let's see if we can pick that out. Let's have a look. It was just before that bit. Let's go there and see if we can pick it out.
I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout.
It's those little bits, it's the little flick at the end, and then the kind of the warble in the middle of the line as well. Let's go back into that.
Thunder, thy power
Here it is.
throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee.
Wow. She has some power, doesn't she, when she really kind of lets a voice go with it and just reaches out with a voice, the power and the precision. Oh, that sounds really nice, doesn't it? Go back again, because that was, yeah. And the way she goes, I said, the lower notes she does as well, and just kind of fades. That was, oh, it's absolutely beautiful. Back to that.
Sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art,
It's that bit I like as well.
how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee.
And there's a bit of country coming back there. The background as well, the music as well has become more country than traditional hymn. But there's a bit she did as well that really makes me think, oh yeah, country roots, that's where she's coming from. So that music in the background there.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Such a clear voice.
When I think that God his Son not sparing sent him to die, I scarce can take it in that on the cross my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin.
I just got to stop a little bit and react to bits. So I'm just really enjoying the clarity of a voice, and I said it's like bell just ringing, and it just cuts through everything. And as I said, it's really nice beginning, starting off with just the plain piano and her amazing voice, and now they brought in the guitars with the capos on it, so it's more of that kind of country twanginess to it as well coming in. I said, and sometimes a voice with the kind of a bit of warble, almost like a yodel in certain places, that makes me think country, but it's still the hymn, so the words are clear, and precise, and she just has the little bits, the inflection in different parts of a phrase in that just gives it that little bit of countryness to it, doesn't it? It's quite interesting. I always say interesting, so apologies. I always say interesting, but it is. I find it all fascinating seeing how different cultures and different styles can deal with the same thing. I'm not going to dive into the lyrics. It's a hymn. The lyrics have been there for, hundreds of years, haven't they? So it's not the focus of this, isn't the words, because they're not her words. She's singing somebody else's words written a long time ago that many, many, many people have sung, and most of us have sung in school or church and that sort of thing as well. So I'm not worried about that side of it. It's more how she changes it and how she sings it. And I think so far it's amazing.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
I love the way she goes from the really big, explosive voice goes out into everywhere and fills the auditorium, and then she just cuts down and does the quiet and slightly deeper. I'm gonna go back to that bit again because I really like that. So she goes from the swiftness.
My Savior God to thee. How great thou art.
I like that bit.
How great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art. How great thou art.
And again, the sustain she has on her voice with just the little touch of vibrato, and it just kind of drifts and just lingers there, just perfectly sounding. That's brilliant. She is really talented, isn't she? It's got capo, isn't it? And that thing on his finger. Is that what it is? Can't remember.
When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart.
I'll stop right there. It's something, because obviously when I was asked to look at this, it's the gospel side of it. It's something we don't have in the UK. Obviously in America, you see, in movies and that sort of thing, gospel, where they have the hymns, but it's all bigger, and you'll get like one person that, their voice rings out above the chorus, and you have the choir and all of that, and it's done in a more up to date with more music. Like this is where the music is just growing and growing and growing. You start off the piano, and the guitars come in, and the bass, and everything kind of growing and growing and growing, and it's going to come to it like a crescendo at the top, and it'll be amazing. We don't have that in this country. Hymns are very traditional. There might be some instances that differ to that, but we don't have church in the same way. So, people go to the church, and it is very much, you'll have the organ or the piano, and everyone sings with that in the traditional way, and everyone has their hymn books, and you just sing it in the way that everybody knows. But in America, I don't know if it's different influences with different cultures that have come into it. And obviously, the gospel then leads into Motown, and it is very much of that kind of the thing, isn't it? Whereas in this country, we didn't have that sort of around us, so it's just the hymns. But it's really nice to hear the gospel, and then how that's changed and making the songs a lot more modern, a lot more powerful, and more individual, so people can sing. You get people like Whitney Houston started like that, and a lot of other artists have started in that way, with the kind of the gospel choirs, and then going on Motown and everything else. So it's something that we haven't had in this country. So we see it on TV and you see these big gospel choirs and it's a big production, it's massive, you know, sister acts and everything else. We don't have that here. Hymns are very traditional, very basic, I suppose boring, but it is just very traditional. So we don't have this. So it's nice to hear the words that I'm used to, but performed in a completely different way.
Then I shall bow in humble adoration, and then proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art.
Wow. Wow. I said she has amazing sustain and that vibrato as well. That was incredible. Wow. There's no words to describe it. That was just absolutely amazing. That she has such a lovely voice, the tone of her voice, the clarity of her singing, and those sustained notes that she can just sing and just carries on, and just the slight sort of natural vibrato through it as the note just carries on and on and on, almost forever. That was absolutely astounding. I really, really enjoyed that. I said I'm not a religious person, but I understand religion to a certain degree, and I've been around it a lot, as I said, in various different forms throughout my life. So I do understand it, and I do like hymns. It's something to sing along with quite easy. Not that well, obviously, but it's something that everyone has sang along with and has an understanding of. So it's really nice seeing a more modern version of something that I'm quite used to only having traditional in this country. So yeah, that was cool. Thank you very much for suggesting that, and thank you very much for joining me on this journey. Please comment, like, subscribe, join my Patreon if you wish as well, and join me again soon. Till then, bye bye for now.